This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Tuesday, July 30th. 2 more trading days left in the month of July, as we basically know that things are going to be pretty slow going into, almost until the end of August. Obviously, they've been slow for the summer, as already. And as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. So we were talking about BYND on onsite and how it was just absolutely absurd, the price level that this thing was up over that 200. I mean, it was just completely out of control. And it looks like earnings pretty much brought it back down. Down to reality, not really even that much yet, because we're still kind of sitting right around that 190 level. We can see right now, best burst that we had is right 192.50, which was a little bit mixed with smaller prints when I saw it come out. And then also 192, we can see we have a few bid prints that came in, one bid print at 90. With a stock that's going to have a range today, probably about $20, make sure that you wait for a great show of hand. 2 prints, 1 print, it's just not going to do it. I mean, you're talking about a stock that dropped from yesterday, from its highs of, let's say, 235 all the way down to basically about 187. So that is a lot of range, and we're going to expect a ton of it again today. So overall, you have a little bit of selling that's came in so far this morning, but you can see the orders are just extremely, extremely thin. At some points, you can't even see them, because they're so far away and the spread is so high. So this is going to be, if we move stocks from, let's say a level of 1 to 10, this is going to be a 25 today, based off of the amount of a range that we're going to be expecting and how thin those orders are going to be. But so far, a little bit of selling that is still coming in, and just keep pushing it down. One thing that we do have to understand too, guys, is this going to be an exception today, or is it going to be a rule for the most part going into things? Okay, hopefully everyone's answer is going to be exception. So keep that in mind if you are going to be trading this, that there's going to be a lot of points where it just completely gets bullied. I mean, with that big of a range, it's going to happen. So keep that in mind as we're going into our morning. Next thing looking at is VLRX. So VLRX is not the greatest, not the greatest, but it is holding very well right below on our lows, right where that orb line is sitting. And if we come back over here, you can see that at 3, let me go all the way down. All right, so above 350, we didn't really get anything at that 350 level, but above 350, you can see you got a pretty nice burst of buying. And one thing that really does interest me as well, if it lets me go back right here, this burst that we got above the ask, you can see the stock was trading at $2.80, but we got a ton of prints, up around that 350 area. So what we want to do is we want to look at the low and we want to look at the high being that 355. That's really where we want to see some volume come in to be able to break, because overall, when a stock is trading this much, a lot of the times we end up seeing them kind of act as almost a magnet and start to come back towards this level. So keep that in mind as we're watching. Otherwise, this would be a sideless stock, but because of those prints, it's definitely a lot more interesting, and it's a great variable for us to add for our morning. Next stock, UAA. Now, UA and UA pretty much are the same thing. We move the same way, but UAA usually has just that better volume that comes in. We could see trading already 1 million shares. But it's another one where not really anything that was that great in the prints themselves. I didn't really get any type of great show of hand yet. We do still have selling coming in. Remember, we're going to see buying, because we're going to end up having, covering because of the amount that it's moved back down, but we do have a little bit of new selling. We need to see something better. It just hasn't really given us that show of hand yet, but overall, it trades 65 cents. We're going to be expecting a lot more than that coming into the morning. Like I said, a little bit of selling. Certainly going to need to see more to show us the continuing. Next thing looking at is PG. So PG, interesting. On average, it trades $1.35, but the biggest, most interesting thing that I've seen is pretty much after 8:30, you can see not one bigger print has been on the S side. It's just been all selling. You can see that 121 level, not really that much selling, but overall, like I said, just nothing but selling. And remember, if there's nothing but selling, what's going to end up happening is we're going to end up seeing it, excuse me, come back down. So overall, it's looking pretty decent. I mean, it's like I said, the range isn't normally that great. We should certainly expect a lot more coming into it today, and then we should certainly see orders aren't that bad. We should definitely see a better show of hand coming in as well. But as of right now, it's looking like we're going to be breaking past that 121, and there's no covering coming in to show us that this thing wants to come back up afterwards. Then we have OSTK. So OSTK is another one where a pretty nice move coming into this morning. My biggest problem here is that look at the move. Okay, the real big jump this morning in this thing was absolutely nothing. And you can see right here at 2350, we got a nice big burst of of selling that came in. Now we know that there's going to be selling because it jumped up, a lot, basically more in the pre-market so far than it usually even trades in the entire day. So we're going to be expecting that selling point, but we do have a nice burst that came in. At that 23, above that 2350 area. Only thing is that we have that kind of that pattern 2350 bid that followed by that ask, which it's only 2 prints, so it's not really going to work, the same way that it usually would with the pattern. On this area, usually what we'd see is we'd end up seeing a quick move up and then that move back down, but that's just not enough prints for us to go on. It's just overbought. There's way more buying in this thing. Above that level. So we're still showing that we do have somebody that's expecting it to go back up, and then 2350, I would assume that somebody's taking some profit from that move up, considering the fact that there's just really no volume that came into this move yet. It's all very, very small for the biggest part of the move, which never is a great sign for being able to hold up above. And I have 2 sideless stocks that we're going to be looking at. SBGL is going to, oops, can't be SBGL. Once again, my handwriting is absolutely atrocious. Okay, SGLB, there we go. So SGLB, this is on my side list, and once again, reason being is because this 150 level, it's actually holding very, very well. It's on, so my 2 side list stocks are on the bottom of what we're going to actually be looking at, but it just has some variables that are very interesting. We had that jump up over to 2, and it pushed over that 2 area, and once again, just holding above that 150, which is kind of interesting, especially considering the fact that we've got some nice bursts at 150 as well as a little bit above 150, 158 to 162. So something I'm going to be keeping an eye on for a trigger up. Unfortunately, the only thing that we don't have is we don't really have any type of buying up at that 2 level. So even a jump up, we're going to want to see, prints coming in there, pull back before we'd be able to actually take a trade to go back up, just because we don't have anything for it to really trigger up to at this moment. And the next one is COF. So COF is on the bottom of our side list. And once again, the reason is that on average it trades at $1.64. So we're definitely going to see it trade today. The only problem we have is that it only trades about 2 million shares. So the big problem that I see coming here is that once the market opens, we just don't really get much trading coming into it. With that big of a data breach, you would expect it to be a way hotter of a stock this morning, and I just don't see it happening. So certainly something that we do have to watch, but there's just not really anything there that's telling us that we're really going to be able to get that high level of interest once the market opens and get that volume to really be able to trade it. All right. And other than that, I don't really see too much else that's going on here. You can see GRUB just popped up, but GRUB is definitely a trade each day, just the volume itself. It's more of an options trade than it is on a day trade. There's, sometimes you could see like back here, right in February, and then a few times we'll see that volume come higher, but the volume's just not there, right under 100,000 shares, so not much for us to be able to do anything with. I got like 15 bid prints on Facebook after hours at 195. All right, let's take a look at Facebook. So as we can see, yesterday just continued on its way down, and we can see that we also have that going on in during the pre-market right this second. So let's take a look if we have any type of prints that are going in there. A whole bunch here. Yeah, that's a lot of selling, and this is an odd spot for it to happen. You can see 411, 427, 435, 445. So there's definitely still, once again, we're not going to take the bigger prints as anything besides levels at 195.54. So that's definitely a level that we want to be very aware of, but they're all different separate timestamps. So there's really not much that's going on there. Remember, we saw those prints at 208 on the S side, but then the dominant market maker came in and showed us nothing but selling. So at some point, that guy is going to make their money at some point above 208, but I don't see it coming right now. We're going to have to continue to see what comes on, coming into the morning, because pretty much there hasn't been really much besides selling. So overall, we it's definitely going to be a mover, just like it is every single day, but I need more information before I can tell you anything. If we keep seeing selling coming in, guys, means it's going to keep pulling back. So got to keep that in mind. All right, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else going on that I did not see? Man, is it nice to be back on my setup. It's great to be back and come into trading. So hopefully we'll definitely get some nice stuff going on into the morning. I will be here all day. Do you think we'll keep seeing selling and getting get a bigger position? So overall, I don't really think too much. I do what we get. So if we get more selling, I'll be the first person to point it out to you guys. But overall, guess what? We got to take what the market gives us. Okay, so we don't want to try to jump the gun. I know everyone and their mother would love to hit the buy button on calls or buying because it eventually has to go back up, but just make sure that you wait. What the market tells us, that's what we're going to go by. All right. We missed you though. I missed you guys too. So I'm so happy to be back. Traders Exchange today at 12:30. Let's make sure that we get our questions and topics in for that. I will talk to everyone in the chat and happy trading.